What's good, YouTube? I got a good cut for y'all today. Today we're going to be doing a high fade with a number 6 on top. I hope you can enjoy the video today and possibly learn something new out of it. If you do enjoy it, make sure you hit that like button for me, drop a comment, share with a friend. But I appreciate you for tapping into my video, and let's get right into it.
Double up 3 or 4 times, I ain't telling no lies, I just run it up.
Alright, YouTube, to start this cutout, we're going to go ahead and drop our bald line in. We're going to go right off the bottom of the vertical bar just because it's a high fade. Really doing this, just make sure you stay consistent with it and, you know, place the line as straight as possible. But really, I mean, you can't mess this up very easily as long as you keep it straight and symmetrical with the head, and then just make sure you clean up everything underneath it. Alright, for the next step, we're going to go ahead and do our lever open with no guard. And I like to go up about 1 inch on high fades, really because, I mean, you usually have a lot of space to fade. So I go up about 1 inch with the lever open. And then to take that line out, I like to break it down into thirds. So I'll go halfway on the lever and halfway down that guideline you just set. And then to take it out all the way, just do a lever close at the very bottom, and it should take it out completely. Real quick, I wanted to go ahead and shout out my other barber that works for me in my shop. He just started up a YouTube channel. Make sure y'all go sub to him and follow his journey. His YouTube is Barber J. I think it's all lowercase. Make sure y'all sub for him. It'd mean a lot to me. It'd mean a lot to him. Yeah, I think he's dropping every week or every other week. So make sure y'all tap in with him. And let's get right back into the cut. So for this next step, I got the 1 guard all the way open, going up about another inch, and just really make sure you're staying consistent with the guide you just set below it, and just making sure, you know, you're setting it as neatly as possible and cutting all the hairs that you can.
Under my skin, I've got you.
So right here, to take out that line you just set in, just grab your half guard. I like to go all the way closed, and then as long as you keep like a flicking motion like you see here, it should take the line out completely. And if you do dig too much and set in any harsh line, you'll just have to drop back down to your 1 guard and, you know, fade that out. But really, if you just keep that motion like I'm doing, you should be good and you'll be able to move on to the next step.
Under my skin. Shoutout heavy, this bitch heavy.
So right here, I got the 2 guard all the way closed. Really, I take it right up to the ridge. Make sure you're not digging into the top of the head, just staying flat off the head, and just really, I mean, you're trying to basically just soften that line between the 1 and the top of the head, because once we come back with that 1.5 and then possibly touch it up with the 1, it'll blend it all together. So right here we got the 1.5 just to bring everything together. Doing this, just really you're just attacking the line. Make sure you're not, you know, going up too high into the foundation that you set at the top. And as long as, you know, you're just staying patient and not trying to rush things, it's all gonna blend together on its own. So right here, when you're just doing cuts like this with clippers on top, just make sure you comb everything out in the direction it wants to lay. And then as long as you're cutting against the grain for, you know, straight haired clients like this, you're gonna be good. It's really just making sure all the hair is even. And then to blend those sides into the top, you just gotta either, I mean, there's a few ways you can do it. I like to use shears, so I'll come back in with the shears and blend that in the next step. So right here I got my texture shears. Really just make sure you're combing the hair down from the top in the direction it wants to lay, and then make sure you don't cut too much, because they can, you know, they can make the hair too light and you can cut too much pretty easy. But as long as you're just cutting the ends of the hair, you're gonna be good and it's gonna blend in. It's gonna blend in nice. So right here we're gonna go ahead and line up his vertical bar. Doing this, you just want to make sure you're keeping everything as natural as possible. I know a lot of people will, you know, push the line back just to get a darker effect, but if you just keep hitting the same spot repeatedly, it's all gonna come together and you're gonna get a nice line out of it. So right here I'm gonna go ahead and spray in some holding spray. It's Tresemme, I think it's like 4 or 5 the whole level, but really any hairspray will work as long as it's got a nice, you know, hold to it. But doing this is just gonna make sure straight hair, really any hair, is just gonna be in the proper place and all laid properly for whenever you come back and do that lineup. So when you're doing lineups on straight hair with bangs, I mean, you gotta understand that, you know, that's not where their hairline actually is. So you gotta be prepared to, you know, cut the bangs off. A lot of people will say it's a pushback, but when you're dealing with straight hair, it's not a pushback because the hairline is underneath that anyways. So really you just wanna, you know, line the bangs accordingly to where his hairline actually would be. So right here, just to finish the cutoff, we're gonna go ahead and add in some Kiss Express. I like to add this in just as like a finishing touch. I look at it kind of like styling gel. The cut don't need it, but at the same time it gives it a, you know, more finished look and a more visually, you know, appealing look. A lot of my clients like it. If you don't use it and you're a barber, I'd recommend it, especially if you know how to use it. make it look natural. It's a good addition. So we're gonna go ahead and spray the other side. Really, when you're doing this, just make sure you're spraying it evenly as you did with the other one, and just keeping it light and as natural as possible. So after I spray the Kiss Express, I like to go back over it and comb everything out and then just reline it one more time. And then I'll also hit it with the straight razor. It'll just knock everything in place and just give it, you know, the best possible finished look. So right here we're hitting him with the straight razor. Really, when you're doing lineups, just make sure you're stretching the skin a little bit and keeping the blade at like a 45-degree angle, and you should be good. It shouldn't nick them or nothing. Cause I don't put anything on, you know, the skin. I usually just use the blade how it is, and it usually comes out fine. No skin irritation or nothing, as long as you have the right, as long as you have like the right finesse and the right angle to the blade. So right here, just finished touch, I'm just going over my trimmers and knocking down any hairs, you know, I see standing up on the lineup. It'll just give it a nice finished look and just really top off the cut. But yeah, YouTube, that pretty much wraps up today's cut. I hope y'all enjoyed the video today. If you did, make sure you drop a like on it, comment, share with a friend. I appreciate you if you sat to the end of the video, and God bless.
They judge me, but they don't know that I've been broken. I'm just hustling, and I grip this now. Don't lose your mind, I kill them. Trust me. And these niggas fooling bitches change, so I'm not trusting. Don't say you love me, this shit get ugly. So I grip this now. Don't lose your mind, I kill them. Trust me. And these niggas fooling bitches change, so I'm not trusting. And these bitches they like honesty, so I'm not trusting. Don't say you love me.